Hey guys, the Ols here, doing a quick, hopefully, Blackrock Caverns run with this new team. Level 82 now, so this shouldn't be too much trouble. This is, I think, the 6th team I've been leveling since I've had recruiter friends, so the way I normally level 80 to 85 is pretty much just in Blackrock Caverns, because it's a lot easier and quicker than the other Kata instances. So I have plans, hopefully, for one more team after I level this one. Yeah, so once I get this team to 85, I plan to probably park them for a little bit, and I think I have no more than a couple of weeks remaining on my recruiter friend, so I'm going to try and power one more team out if I can. And that should do it. Excellent. So yeah, I guess as I was saying, I have one more team planned to level up, and I have all their heirlooms and stuff ready to go, although some of them are still on this team. But the one class I haven't leveled at all in Recruiter Friend is a rogue, so I need to do one of those, or I would like to do one of those. And while I've leveled a balanced druid and a tank druid, I haven't leveled a resto druid, so that is also going to be in my next team. So yeah, once, if I get the chance to, and once I level that team up, that'll give me at least one of every class and role, with the exception of Cat Druid. But I obviously will have 3 other druids, so if I feel the need to play a cat druid, I should just be able to respec. Probably a little bit sloppy there, but got through alright. So I feel like I've run this instance so many times now. So probably, to be honest, it's probably is starting to get a little bit boring, this instance, but it's kind of fun the first excuse me, it is kind of fun the first couple of times, at least through with a new team, just to see how they hold up. And, you know, it's a good spot to compare to other teams, just because I do run it so many times over and over. Sort of starting at level 80 or 81, depending if I want to do any Wrath heroics before I move on, and sort of run this all the way through to 84, 85, so it is a pretty good indication. I also think at about this level, just above level 80, probably, probably from about 81 onwards, you sort of start to get a real feel for what the characters are going to be like at endgame. So even things like, you start to notice that the damage meters probably start to closer reflect what I would expect towards the end of the game. Prior to this, with just about every team, the tank is always number 1 in DPS, which, at level 90 or whatever is very rarely the case. But you can see now that the Shaman are starting to move into the 1 and 2 spot, at least in the last couple of fights. And the Priest is actually moving to the last spot, which is probably closer to what I would expect. So even as a, DPS Discipline Priest, because they're doing so much healing, they shouldn't be doing as much damage, particularly as like a, Elemental Shaman or something like that, who's another caster but just straight damage. And I pulled the boss. So something I feel like I would like to have a look at is my Ret Pally's DPS. It doesn't seem to be that high. Like, he's sitting slightly below the tank and only slightly above the Priest, which seems very low to me for a melee DPS class. But of course it's quite possible I'm doing something wrong. I haven't played a Ret Pally before. This team was the first time I grabbed a Ret Pally, so... So probably after this instance, I think I might stop and have a look at my Ret Pally, have a look at his macros. It's probably also worth noting that I still, even though I meant to, I still haven't built my burn macro, is usually what I call it, which has things like Avenging Wrath for both the Paladins, and Heroism for one of the Shaman, Fire Elemental Totem, things like that. which you know, I generally like to use for, you know, your boss burn down phases and things of that sort. So I need to have a think about probably putting that macro together as well. Because whilst I'm obviously not having too many issues here, yeah, it's something I like to have, a bit of an emergency button, and perhaps if a healer dies or something like that, you only have a little bit left on the boss, you can hit that and try and burn through it, you know, avert a wipe, that type of thing. So it was probably a little bit of a mistake there. I don't usually like to pull two of those dogs at the same time. Probably at this level, maybe another level up, another level higher I would think about it, but yeah, 82 is probably not quite there with the sort of gear I have. My enhancement shaman really seems to have come into his own DPS wise in the last couple of levels. He's up there now matching the elemental shaman, which is awesome. Prior to that, he probably wasn't doing so well. Respectable DPS, but it wasn't pardon me, wasn't right up the top of the chart, so quite happy about that. Enhancement Shaman as well as the Rep Paladin, they're both something I don't have a lot of experience with, so a big part of this was really just a test to see how all of the classes work out. And I've definitely learnt some interesting things through the leveling process. I'm a much bigger fan of Discipline Priests than I ever would have thought. Whoops. So yeah, like I was saying, I'm probably a way bigger fan of Discipline Priest than I ever thought. Atonement healing is fantastic, but also just that I guess the damage absorption style healing rather than quick heals through damage is something that I found really interesting. I quite like. I think unfortunately I became a little bit less of a fan of druid tanks. I'm not sure why, but I didn't really like leveling my guardian druid that much. Found him perhaps a little bit more cumbersome than the other tanking classes, which was strange. But Paladin tanks just amazing. That's why I have so many of them now. And it's probably fair to say I've been pretty impressed by elemental Shaman. Well, I'm not sure why I had this kind of mistaken idea that being a hybrid class that they wouldn't be that good as casters, or at least not up to the same level as other casters. Like, you know, if you wanted really good magic damage, you needed to play a clothy. But yeah, playing the teams I have has definitely proved that wrong. It's probably about the most wrong assumption that I'd had made about this game. Elemental Shaman are friggin' unreal. And Chain Lightning's fantastic, and yeah, it's why I've leveled so many of them throughout these teams. Anyway, there you go, guys. That was Blackrock Caverns, about, what, a quarter to a third of a level, so still have quite a bit to go. So I think that's it for now, and the next video I make might well be my new team, if I can get this team through to 85 or close to before the end of the day. Alright, thanks for watching, guys, and see you next time.